Wade, you want me to give your
Yeah, we're ready.
start?
All right, welcome back. I guess this is the final week of the budget sessions. We'll start today with veteran services, but before we get in, just want to kind of remind everybody at home that these are just budget requests. Nothing is recommended, nothing is adopted at this point. This is really more of a conversation between the county administrator and the departments of understanding what their requests are for the upcoming year. The budget at this point is not fully balanced. We do not have all of our revenue sides in, especially for property taxes, because those are not finalized until July 1st. Additionally, we don't have the budgets yet for the constitutional officers. Those will come June 1st with presentations to the board for most of those constitutional officers. I don't think we have any today, but I'll note if we do of any funds that are not currently in balance or that may have concerns due to low levels of reserve. So with that, turn it over to you, Mac.
All right, thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joseph McDermott, the Director of Veteran Services, aka just Mac. Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank Wade, and I'd like to thank his staff for the support that they do give the Veteran Service Officer when it comes to budget. They're always there for us, and especially to Denise, my budget person. And Denise always tells me, Mac, you're easy. So we are easy, okay? So I'll start off today. Could you go to the first slide for me, please? On the first slide, you'll know I've highlighted two areas, basically, that we're asking for just a little bit more money, okay? And I'll explain that in a few more minutes to you. That is our lease equipment, and that is our training. Those are the only two areas that are highlighted, asking for additional funds for those two areas. Next slide, please. And as you can see right here, when I'm going up here for the lease equipment, I'm asking for just an additional $90 added to that. And that's only because of we just did a new contract for the copier. And so we're paying a little additional money for copy. So we just want to make sure that we've got a little bit there to cover that. And that's about all we'll probably need. When it comes down to computer supplies, okay, here, as you can see, it's about $10,025. That's because of equipment that needs to be replaced due to 4 employees, computer screening, okay, scanners, and that equipment for our 4 people. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it has been that long. So Wiley is replacing that for us there in that area right there. Our donation expenditure, that donation was given to me years and years ago. It's been there for a long, long time. And last year we kind of overlooked that, or I guess I did, and the budget person, and it was carried forward. So it was at an 8,000, and when I was going over budget this year, I said it should not be 8,000. It should be that 4,000 or something. So they doubled it, and we've rectified that area there. No harm, no foul on that one there. And then the other is our training. I'm asking for an additional $2,000. The last few years in the office, I've hired a couple of people, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. And so it hasn't worked out for 2 that I hired. And normally when I hire a new person, and that person goes through training with the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, like my newest service officer, Henry Nocum. Henry just went through the training with the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs. They've got to be school trained by the Florida Department of Affairs and then certified with their organizations before they can submit claims to the Veterans Administration. So what happens is when I trained Henry this year, he got trained. The only problem that I'm having right now is certifications through the Department of Veterans Affairs. In other words, to get his certification with the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, and the other organization would be the American Legion, that information, that our training stats have to go to the IG's office, or the Office of General Counsel at the VA. And then once they put him on that list, then he's able to go in and we're training him, but he can't sign any claims, okay, until that's officially done. And right now, they're not only us are having a problem, but the whole state of Florida with these new service officers coming on, trying to get that certification. We just left recertification training here the first part of May. They know it's an issue. General Hartzell, which is the Florida Department of Directors Affairs in charge, appointed by the governor, naturally, has been bringing that to the attention of the VA. But not only is it happening to us, it's happening in other states too, till the Office of General Counsel can get caught up there. So what happens is when he's trained now, I don't have to send him the training. I did not have to send him the May training because he was just certified. So I don't have to take him. I just took us and my other ones there that we went this year. But next year I will have to take him with us. Okay, so that's the reason to ask for that particular increase there. Okay, me, myself, and my other service officers. So that's why I'm asking for that additional $2,000 to be able to take him to training with us. Next slide, please. As you can see, these are the stats. It goes all the way back to 2022. Before being me to tell anybody that the county is growing and the people moving into our county is growing. And the same thing is happening with our veterans. This is just a projection for 2025. And naturally, I don't have Henry taking a full load. What I take, we normally see about 6 clients a day, could be 7 if I maybe have a walk-in. And I can't have, and I don't have Henry on that full load. I've got Henry maybe taking 2 to 3, somewhere around there, until I can get him certification, because we're basically signing some of these forms. But we've got him working some of these claims, and he's been sitting us with for months. So that's our increase. We're projecting that to be an increase, okay? It's not slowing down for us. And again, that's what we're seeing roughly every day. Myself still right now, I am working clients. I have a client load myself, and these are clients that I've been working with for years. It's hard to turn them loose, okay, and just say, hey, you got to see another service officer. I've got rapport with those individuals, and I don't mind doing that. It gets a little taxing at times, okay, because of the other things that are required of me, but that's okay. That's what I do. So I think that, and the other thing is that we meet, myself and Mr. Dudley, the chairman of our Veterans Council, we were meeting with a VA outpatient clinic. We did monthly meetings with them to talk about different things that's going on. I tell them what my clients have been telling me that's not going well at the clinic, and I ask for the same information from his people, or my people doing everything, you know, when you're sending them or referring them to us. And what I find out, and when I look at the new client load, okay, and I track our new clients also that first come into our office, because in our schedule, we have 2 new client slots every day for new clients. We want that new client to be able to get in there. Our goal is always to have our veteran, if they call in and make an appointment, and the appointment system works well for us. It doesn't mean that we don't take walk-ins, okay, but it works well for us. We're able to get that veteran in within a week, okay, if we're all up and running, okay. Like we came back from training, naturally we're behind a week, so we'll catch that up, you know, and get it caught back up. But basically, when I talk to the VA, when I look at their new patients coming in, their new patients run neck and neck with what I'm seeing on new clients, because they're going to the clinic. Hey, have you been to the Veteran Service Office? Okay, or i.e. when they come to us, are you enrolled in VA healthcare? So I can see that there. The other thing that we have talked to them about is the number of patients that they have. A CBOC normally would be built and has about 10,000 patients. We're over 10,000, well over 10,000 right now. So naturally, Mr. Dudley and myself are always going, what's the next step, VA? What are we doing here? You know, we're growing as a county. So they tell us that they're working on it, you know, nothing in the early stages right now. Are you going to build a, you know, another building beside that thing there? You know, what are you going to do? So we're not quite sure, but that issue is always addressed, okay? Because we want our veterans to be able to get in there like that. And like I say, there's a lot of them coming in to the county. Can you move to the next slide, please? This slide right here, and I don't know this for a fact, might be the smallest department in the county. If not, there might be one smaller. But I would always say this, okay, we may be small, but we make a huge, huge impact for our veterans and their family members, their dependents. Now, if you look at 2023, it's about $237,234,000, okay, $2 million, okay. Now, if you look at 2024, and naturally, when I was going in, and I use strictly the VA's numbers, I don't use any other numbers but the VA's numbers when I'm going here and giving you these numbers, because I know these are the numbers. There's no makeup number. There's nothing here. These are the numbers of what comes in for veterans, for claims that come in. Normally we get that. Normally I would have 25 numbers by June. Well, last year they set that back, and I was explaining that to you. We couldn't get them. And I still don't know what 25 is right now. But if you look from 23 to 24, okay, if you look at that, that's about a $32 million increase there from 23 to 24. That's huge. I never expected that to happen. I'm happy that it did happen. I'm glad for my veterans that it happened. But what they had done prior to that on the statistics, we were getting the statistics for what they call compensation and pension. I come in, a veteran, I do a pension claim, possibly that's based on income, okay, and a lot of other factors. And compensation is where a veteran may have service-connected disabilities while they were on active duty, or presumptive claims, toxic exposure, things like that. So they were only giving us the numbers for that in 2023, okay? In 2024, they changed it, and they gave us the numbers for what we call DIC claims and pension claims. In other words, we do widows pension claims, same as a veteran, different priority and everything's based on income. And we do DIC claims, okay? DIC claims are, if a veteran has a service-connected disability, that widow walks in my door and says, Mac, hey, my husband's passed away. I look at the copy of the death certificate. That Florida has a long copy, which gives a cause of death. And if I look at that death certificate, it's got coronary artery disease on it. I look at the veteran. What is the veteran's service-connected disability? Coronary artery disease. That veteran's service-connected disability causes a death, and that grants for a monthly benefit from the VA. We didn't get those statistics prior till 2024. In 2024, for the widows and the DIC claims and the pension claims for widows, was at $10,998,404, okay? That's huge. That bumped that up there, okay, when they added both in there, okay, to that. So I'm anxious to see what 2025 numbers will bring us. We'll probably get those in August, probably again of this year, to determine how well we do or how well we did. But, it's this right here is naturally hard work from the people in the office, okay? There's no doubt about it, that it is, and they're working hard. There's no doubt about that. We're going from client to client, but that's what we do. That's what we're here to do, to take care of them and to do that. Any questions on me at all so far? Well, in closing, I'll say this, okay? In closing, I'd like to thank the county commissioner nationally, you, Joy, county administrator, the county staff, okay? The county departments, there's not a time that I've not been able to go to another county department that they have shared, and nobody's ever told me no in supporting us, okay? How can you not like that, okay? And the citizens of St. Johns County, okay? And the Veterans Council. I do it, but without the support of y'all and without the support of the community, it just doesn't happen, okay? It just does not happen. So I'm grateful to y'all. I'm grateful to all the people out here that continue to have unwavering support for veterans. If you have no questions.
I don't have a question. I have a comment to make about just you as an individual. You're probably one of the most selfless person that's serving St. Johns County. And I say that year after year, you come here, you're well prepared, not only on how proud you are with you and your team of the increased service you're providing with the limited resource every year, but you spend a lot of time to justify the supply cost increase, your copy machine, and a couple $1,000s of a discrepancy in donation that you're trying to true up. And then the training, $2,000 increase because you have retention issues, you're bringing on new staff. And that tells me that you have such a high level of ownership of your department and put so much of your passion in what you do. And last year you even volunteered to take your position out so you can have, I've never heard anybody said that, but we appreciate you so much. And when you say in the beginning, you're the easy department, but you're easy department because you have developed so much trust with your community, with the county. We know you're watching every penny. And then you really, truly, you're concerned about overspending in pennies and dollars. At the same time, you are willing to give it all to serve the veterans community. So we appreciate you.
Thank you, Joy. It's always been Mac, it's gonna be okay. You know, you can spend a penny, okay? And they always say that to me, but
too.
it's important, okay? I've always thought it was important like that. It's
Yeah.
people's money, you know, and even though it's minute like that, it does make a difference
Yeah,
sometimes. But
yeah.
I thank you for your fine comments. Thank you.
All right.
I'm out of
Do
here.
we want to look at his budget? or-
Yeah, let's do it. We'll look at your budget
Yeah,
real
let's do it.
quick, so if you don't mind,
Okay.
just take a few minutes. Yeah.
So MAC is within, or Veteran Services, is within the general fund. And they are under the economic environment section of the general fund, so. MAC, here's your budget. Had to round it a little more because it is a very small budget, as you mentioned. Small, but definitely a return on investment to the veterans that you serve, so. Here's the line item detail of the budget. Primarily, it is personnel services with just a little bit of operations there, so. Yeah, that's it, really. Yeah,
Budget's my
not much
people.
to it.
Right, exactly. Budget's my people.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank
For showing you.
you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mac.
Thank you.
Wait, hold on.
Good, good.
You're in the- Wait, let me do this.
That's so far.
Get one more.
The back one.
It's just the county field.
Are we on?
All right.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Wally Teagle, Director of Information Systems for the Board of County Commissioners. Here to present my budget for 2027. So first off, to give a first slide, just a brief overview of what we do. We provide internal services to the board, but we also provide other support issues with the other constitutionals in various ways with the clerk of the courts, the sheriff's office, and the tax collector. We support the IP telephony phone system and then the computers and then the network. This slide here just shows a comparison of my 26 operating and the capital equipment expenditures. As we see that the operating expenditures has increased significantly from 26 to 27. And the vast majority of that reason is there's been a shift of responsibilities for the software where it used to be split out between the different general services departments. Now OMB has directed us, expansion budget has directed us to consolidate underneath the MIS department. Therefore, we did a little bit last year, but this year there was more. The biggest one that was done this year is Microsoft 365. We also have a decrease in our capital equipment because we had a couple bigger things last year than we do this year. We still have, as you can see, we're still asking for 226,000, and that's the majority of that is for a UPS in the admin data center that's end of life and is no longer supported. Last year, this year, we're doing our computer room AC units. Was our big one last year that we did.
Can I pause you?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not sharing the right screen.
Back start from the beginning.
No,
Just kidding.
But overall, the net was a little bit of a 0.12 less than last year. We have not asked for anything employee-wise. We're standing, so we're not asking for any additional employees. I went ahead, this screen right here is just at a very high level, talks about the different accounts and where some of the increases were compared to where it was. So for example, in our contractual services, we're increasing 23,000. And then that's including some of the admin core switches, which are due for replacement because they're no longer supported. We also have an Active Directory integration into Workday. And then also we've had an increase in our cloud storage. We replicate our data off premise into the cloud. We have a decrease for our equipment maintenance, and that's because we're replacing some equipment. So therefore the annual maintenance on them is either included in the first year purchase of the equipment, or it's less. We've increased the communication line item by just over 13,000. That's mainly due to new buildings that are coming online. And also going back that previously department's communication line for the data circuitry location was underneath their budget. It also this year has been moved underneath the MIS budget. That's why there's an increase there. We have an increase in our computer supplies by just over 27,000. Once again, replacement switches that are old and that are either no longer supporting the hardware, or we cannot get the operating system on the device itself upgraded. So it puts us vulnerable for a security risk. And then we're also asking for, there's some stuff in there for equipment movement for the MIS office. We've been told that we're slated to be relocating. So normally when that happens, they don't include the budget furniture and stuff. So we've actually carried, the money that's being carried actually was 2 years ago when we replaced in our office, we put new modular furniture into it, and there was savings from that. So we've actually carried it into this year, and we're planning on carrying it next year. And then also we found this year that an OTDR allows us, when we have a fiber issue, to actually tell us the distance of the problem. This past year we ran into the one with the permit center, and we had to get somebody to come in and try to help us find that problem. So we do have requests for one of those into the budget.
That's a device that you just connect to the wire.
So what it does is you take your piece of fiber, you put a device on each end of it, and then it tells you the distance. It actually gives you a graphical of where you actually have ups and lows of the signal strength based on bends or a cut or something like that. We had a decrease in our office supply. That once again is dealing with the furniture being moved over.
Are you moving?
Hope not, but I might be.
Oh, okay.
I hope not. We can talk more about that.
Talk about that later.
We did our software increase we talked about originally, and operating supplies increase this year. That's like I just mentioned up in there about the migration of the software being moved from departments over into the MIS for general services.
Well, can I just clarify a little bit on that? So when you talk about departments, software would normally be in their budget and you're consolidated into yours. What's been consolidated into yours is just the general fund departments. The, utilities is still covered within utilities, transportation is, public works is still within and so on. It's really just those general fund areas that have been consolidated into yours.
That is correct. Just general services have been pushed underneath the MIS department. We did roll up for public works. There are 4 or 5 departments have been rolled up underneath their own
within public works.
Yes, same thing with utilities. We mentioned in here about the capital outlay decrease. That's because, as I mentioned in there, in the 27, we have to replace our data center UPS. And this year we did our computer room AC units, but we still have some core switches that have to be replaced. And then also in 26, we had a replacement of the storage area network, and will not be done in 27. So that's why there's another decrease in that. So I just mentioned about some notable stuff in 27 compared to 26. The UPS is a big one. The core distribution switch in this building. We also have a couple other hardware in different departments, in different buildings, same concept. One of the things I would like to note, just so everybody aware, there's a big increase this year in some of the departments. Departments still pay for the hardware, but so we have that funded. I just thought it would point out that this is the year that we're actually replacing laptops and desktops that were purchased during the COVID. So the county runs a 5 to 6 year desktop, laptop, computer replacement. And this is the year that we're going to get hit with that. So what I want to point out, for example, is in 26, we replaced a total of 262. And so you see how that's broken out. We had 134 desktops and 74 laptops. This year, due to the COVID replacement devices, we're actually moving our desktops not too far up to 150, but the laptops jumped almost 200, just over 200 for that, because when COVID hit, the intent was moved everybody work remotely. We had a lot of devices to pay, a lot of laptops to purchase with federal funds, but now they're up for replacement. So therefore, we're, as a county, going to have to replace those. You can see our new request has been the same from last year to this year, exactly on the number of desktops, and the laptops have been about the same number too. The new requests from departments are for additional staff. Sometimes they do, like the library might do, changing the reclassification, which I've noticed that this year that they got some, because they're reclassing from part-time to full-time requests.
Yeah.
Those would be in there for new requests.
So computers, for this year, the request is abnormally high. Do you foresee it next year being back around that FY26 level, or?
It should be.
Okay.
It should be. But one thing we do have to note is that as we keep increasing, that means that that number keeps increasing too. So every time we're adding new staff or changing things, we're adding additional equipment. So therefore it will end up catching up. So the number won't stay flat. It continually increases by it, especially even more and more nowadays, because staff has more and more devices. And it's not that they have just one device. They also have, a lot of them have phones and then iPads or tablets.
Mhm.
So you see a lot of that where the employees have 2 devices.
Mhm.
So those are increasing. And that's all that I have.
Okay,
Some questions?
do you wanna, I don't have any question, no employees, some savings and some software updates. I guess we'll have a question after this if you're moving, but we'll go over the budget real quick. I thought that you were, and then I heard that there was some change in the domino effect of sheriff and then supervisor election. So I can't recall exactly where the plan landed.
I don't know if it's actually landed.
Okay,
It's still there. I think it keeps moving around a little bit.
I see.
I do know that they are moving forward with putting the addition onto the supervisor elections
Mhm.
office.
yeah,
And I don't know.
but you were originally going to that annex, but now I heard that it was HR from sheriff's office is gonna occupy that space.
So we were being split into 2 buildings. Our application staff would be going into the bottom part of the bottom floor of the annex that they're just starting to move forward on renovating that.
Mhm.
And then our operations side of it was going into the existing corner building that the HR, at least sheriff's office, HR and mismanagement live in.
Okay,
And I had heard that they might not be moving. That's why
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
It's like I said, it's very fluid.
yeah,
All right, we'll go into the MIS budget. So they're within the general fund, general government section of the general fund. And just move it down, you can see that, the largest is, like most departments, is personnel. There's quite a bit of operating in there related to the devices and the software that is purchased on an annual basis. And then here is the line item information for the MIS budget with, some of the increases and the reductions as Wiley noted going through his presentation. That's it.
right.
That's it. Thanks, everybody.
Good to see you. So maybe a little bit of I don't know if you've been watching this process, but maybe a little bit of more details since students first time kind of going through this. You may have seen some of the stuff. that we've been doing.
Oh, okay.
Process was, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so just kind of, go over your budget requests, I guess, really you're kind of funded from a millage rate through the county, but go over that. I think it is in your presentation, what that does to your budget, what pieces of your budget, because you do have state and other grant funding as well. Yeah, give us an overview.
Okay, great. No problem. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Steve Civitelli. I'm the interim health officer for St. John's. Actually, to your south, neighbor to the south, they usually cover pollution Flagler. But I am a St. John's resident, so this is kind of cool for you to be able to serve in this way. So what we did this year is we actually put together a little bit of a presentation about who we are, kind of where we are right now and where we plan on going. So this is just a brief organizational chart, something we wanted to put together to show kind of how we're set up currently. And we're kind of reworking how to try and find more efficiencies. We're also looking at other shared services with other CHDs on the back of the house so that we can actually project more out in the community. So this just gives you a general overview of how we're set up from our medical side, our epidemiology side, and then our outreach and our WIC programs, but we'll kind of dive into that. I did want to provide just a general outline of how we're set up currently. These are obviously our services that we provide in the community right now, obviously focusing more on our clinical, our WIC program, which is a federally funded program, but we actually provide some supplemental income for that department from our taxing authority. And in addition to our environmental public health program and private well program, these are all obviously very inclusive of many different topics internally. I'm going to get into a little bit later on kind of our current state of these program areas and again, where we're looking at going moving forward. Again, it continues some of our primary services that you may be familiar with our epidemiology program, responding to outbreaks, our vital statistics department, in addition to our public health preparedness, which is our response to storm sheltering primarily during storm response. And something that we've been focusing on quite a bit is our community health education outreach more in the community as of late, and that's something we're going to focus more in the future. In addition to our finance department, which actually has some shared service other CHDs, which we're trying to look at being more efficient with our internal funds so we can project more externally. Just our 25-year in review. So with the resources that were provided from the county, we've really tried to target those resources to clinical operations and/or outreach events. So we're making sure that we're focusing on those events. 70 participated in last year. And then these are just some general highlights of some of the programs that we have in addition to our seen in our clinic. So we have the one clinic that's down the street. And so our one clinic saw a little over 2,300 clients in calendar year 25. And again, we're trying to reevaluate how we can see more folks with the staff we have, in addition to if we bring on more staff, what that'll actually get us for our resource allocation. So again, we want to provide some photos of our staff with the community and show that, again, we're trying to make sure that there's a conscious effort to be a partner of the community. Again, 25-year in review. These are just some at the health department and some of our other partnerships with HHS here locally. We participated in some training events. We have the book vending machine, which I know was something that was put in last year. And in addition to our community sharps collection program, which generated more than 500 gallons of sharps collected. So the thought there is that we have some harm reduction mitigation methods to reduce the amount that you may find some places that you don't want them. So again, there's some really great programs that are being done here internally, and we hope to expand those in the future. Excuse me. Again, year in review, is something that the department really focused on was their WIC services and doing mobile sites. Recognizing we have one site and expansive territory that they're focusing more on doing mobile clinics. And that's something that I think you're going to see moving forward, as we'll see in the coming slides. We had purchased this year with resources that from taxpayer funds, a mobile service unit to actually provide clinical services in different areas. So we're really trying to focus on not so much hardened facilities, but more so on being nimble and getting out in the community. That way it's a lower overhead cost and we still have the same results in many areas. Our environmental public health program, as we know, and again, as a resident, I've seen facilities are growing in town. And that's something that we're mindful of, and we're trying to adapt to that and become more efficient internally. Something we'll talk about in a few minutes is our public health program. On the environmental side, we're reallocating some of our staff and actually requesting more from the central office to meet the need of the community so that we can respond quickly to the needs of our operators, recognizing we don't want to be a barrier to them in actually opening or operating. And so we're working on that as well. And then again, our vital statistics program, which again is down the street, generated a good amount of certificates that generally shows us how much volume we have. And I can tell you that from past experience, this is steady volume through vital statistics collected. So again, just getting into the local contributions from the county, this is where again, our resources are really being targeted. We're not trying to use a lot of it for administrative costs. We're trying to focus more on the community. Again, salary and benefits for the clinical services and outreach, in addition to the book vending machines. And again, we are in process of updating our fleet at the health department. In addition to, we procured that mobile unit that should be out on the road within the next few months. We actually took receipt of it last week, so we're excited about that. And again, that will actually, you'll see us more out in different parts of the county where we're not traditionally there. And that was something that was a big push that I wanted to make sure we follow through with that, because again, it's a low cost method to try and see more folks that you normally wouldn't see, to let them know who we are, what we do, and what we can provide them, again, at a limited cost. Again, our program expenses, we did supplement a little bit of funding for the federal program from LoGov, we call it, and something that we're going to look at internally. I think we were able to actually request more federal funding in the future, so we won't have to do that. We've kind of tore down a lot of the programs and looked at them holistically since I've gotten there, and try to look at how we can maximize some of the federal funding and then take some of the local funding and target more of the community in different ways so that we could expand our reach. Additionally, obviously, some goes to our special needs shelter program, which hopefully we won't have to use this year. But again, we will be ready. Right now is where we actually make sure we have our supplies this time of year and train our staff to make sure that they're adequately prepared to open up a special needs shelter. And then additionally, our school health program, which we do meet with the schools frequently. We're actually looking at trying to expand some of our services in the schools right now. So we're trying to bridge that relationship and provide more to the students in the county. This is a funding distribution. So, I wanted to just show generally, holistically, our budget is a little over $8 million. The county for 26, 27, and the millage will actually provide a little over $1 million. That equates to 12% of our total operating budget. What I'm really focusing on with the staff is our insurance and fees portion. At 11%, I really think that we could push ourselves to operate more efficiently and look at our billing mechanisms to get closer to 30%. Wow. And so if we do that, it actually reduces the burden in several other areas or allows us to grow. Mm-hmm. And so, and grow efficiently. And that's something that, again, coming from the outside, it is nice that I have the opportunity to look at things a little differently, and we try and incorporate some best practices from other areas. In addition to, I've learned a lot just by being here in my time. There's a lot of great work that's being done here. So
it's yes. On the insurance and fees. So that's almost 3 times of percentage-wise of yes. the contribution to the total budget. Are we talking about fee increase, or we're talking about just recouping the insurance contribution that we just haven't explored?
The latter. So
okay.
I think we're trying to recoup our billables better.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so right now we're looking at kind of how we slide our fees. We're trying to look at, again, a lot of it is the internal operation and how we can work more efficiently there and make sure that we're coding correctly so that we're billing to the right level.
Okay.
And if we're doing that and getting reimbursed, say, $165 versus $12, mm-hmm. It doesn't necessarily have to equate to more services. It's just that we're getting the correct reimbursements.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we're just, again, there are some areas where, and that's not uncommon for CHDs. We're just trying to make sure that we're maximizing our input. I put a target number at closer to 30%.
And when do you think that, in terms of time frame, that can become materialized?
Again, I think we were trying to shoot for more fiscal year 26, 27, getting closer to 20%.
Okay.
And then kind of looking at a longer term projection realistically as a 3-year transition.
Mhm.
But again, we may find some things as we go through all of our deliverables where we may be able to maximize it sooner. But
Mhm.
realistically, I'm looking at more of a phased in approach.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it's how we do things internally. Again, some of the billing that's done, that's changing and it's getting more complex with how to receive reimbursements from the insurance companies. So I know that we're trying to work with them to make sure that we're getting everything we're deserved.
Now, so this is St. Johns County localized, the Department of Health. Is there any leveraging statewide in terms of your billing methodology? Because now it sounds like it's very local, but from where you're from, because you are a lot more sophisticated in terms of billing, it seems to be more susceptible to who's actually in the leadership role in terms of the financing part of it.
Agreed.
I wonder just why is there not a centralized kind of a overarching method? And then that gives you more leverage to capitalize on AI technology, like all these things. That's curious how that works.
I think we're getting where you're describing. So I think what we're starting to do is we're setting up strike teams to actually go in and evaluate other CHD's clinics and try and see what the best practices are and ways that we can improve, whether it's through technology, whether it's through some of the processes, kind of looking at the standard operating procedures and seeing where we can bridge some of the gaps.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we're seeing right now. I think that we've seen some transition with staff in terms of, we've had a lot of knowledge retire out in the last several years. And so we're trying to recoup some of that. And then I think trying to work together as a centralized agency is important. So we've voiced some of the things that you've mentioned there. If we could do things more uniform, that would probably help all of us recoup these funds in addition to, sustain ourselves longer term.
Yeah, you don't have to reinvent a very specialized team for every local government.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like for right now, we have a small team from a couple other counties in here doing some EH inspections while we try and recruit. So we're trying to maximize the back of the house agency to work for St. John's.
Gotcha.
In a way that
Well,
is
appreciate
better for all of us. So.
Yeah.
So 26, 27 year ahead. So we're really focusing right now on restructuring the environmental public health program, making sure that we have adequate staff to make sure we're meeting the growing demand within the county, implementing a travel vaccine clinic, which is tied to our mobile unit. And that's something that we hope to have out in the not too distant future, participating more in community events. In addition to really the big stress for me is to, again, expand community partnerships, whether it's with our hospitals, our county partners, nonprofit organizations, really try and establish and continue on the good work that was done by the prior administration and try and continue to grow our reach within the community. And then again, we're always trying to focus on our epidemiology department. Right now we have 3 staff that focus specifically on that role, and I can tell you they're quite busy. So we're excited about expanding that area. And that's generally where we are as a department.
All right, thank you so much. So we typically kind of hear from the department, and then we'll go over our budget system and just look at the variables and, from 25, 26, and 27. But while Blake is pulling that up, I think the theme of the overall management and in terms of sort of a visionary strategy, there are 2 common themes that are very similar to St. Johns County as just a general government. One is looking for diversifying revenue and how can we make sure that we're not too reliant on our property taxes. And the only way of doing that is to diversify how we can seek other revenue to still provide the same or maybe expand the services. 2 is, I think it almost very similar theme is collaboration with other organizations and being more focused on community approach. And that's also helping with the leveraging of a resource. I see the community collaboration has incredibly increased since not your predecessor, but Shane, when he got here, I think he brought a vision of embedding the DOH in the fabric of digital communication in the community. So that was very helpful. And I really appreciate that you stepped in as an interim to be able to look at some other aspect of the operation in a business sense. And that's very helpful. I would say because DOH is a millage-based, the department needs to afford 12% of contribution from St. Johns County. I'm not saying that the hard work from DOH to diversify the revenue is becoming a reason for punishing of less of a millage.
Understood.
But I think across the board, we are now more resilient because the same thing for our fire, same for our transportation and for our general fund. The more resource we have, the more resiliency we have in terms of the state reform or anything that may affect our ability to fund the services that is required of us. And not only is required of us, is required of us in a more expanded way, just because of sheer volume.
Yeah, just so getting into the budget, the health department is a separate millage fund. It is a special revenue fund. And then as well as we go through this, this is just the St. Johns County portion of the funding. As you mentioned, it is a much larger budget funded from multiple areas. So the revenues are really property taxes. It is that millage rate. It is a millage rate that is assessed countywide to all property owners. And that's really the main revenue there. On the expense side of that, there are a little bit of fees related to the tax collection and administration of those taxes with the tax collector and property appraiser. But it does net about just under $1 million to the health department. And again, as you mentioned, it is just one piece of an overall budget. So yeah, that's really it. Simple.
I think to your point, as you mentioned earlier, I think I talk in the office a lot about the business of public health, and the fact side of it isn't always as glorious because we're focused so much on the outreach component and working with clients. But, you know, we're talking more about how we do operate internally. And if we're doing that more efficiently and effectively, it'll actually help our bottom line in addition to, again, projecting outward. So I think that it's a little bit of something that we're looking at, to your point. And we'd want to be less reliant on certain funding streams so that it frees up, again, the resiliency component of it, that maybe somebody else needs it more if we're collecting more, not so much punishing, but again,
Just the flexibility that we have. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. It's a good business practice. We take the funds we receive seriously, and we take a real hard look at why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, and then I feel like the identity of DOH has evolved over time, and either it's contracting or expanding, and just most time it's based on the philosophy of the leader of DOH, but sometimes it is really constrained by the resource you have. You know, in terms of St. Johns County, we got into primary care, then we don't have primary care, then we got into very extensive dental service, then we don't have it. I think that is the kind of variables and potential opportunities that we can look at if we do have more resources, because those services were utilized before. And then when the resource becomes so constrained, so then now we just focus on, at some point, we're more of a public health and emergency response type of department. So, but we appreciate you and holding us over, and may give us, let's say 19%. That's over $1 million potentially in a few years. Yeah,
It's sure hopeful.
that's exciting. Yeah. All right. Anything else? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
You can finagle the handle and then try to jump up and down, too, but I'm not sure it'll work.
We're not here.
There we go, perfect.
You're alive.
All right, well, thank you for your answer.
It's the arrows.
All right, well, thank you guys for having us today. I appreciate y'all's time and willingness to hear our requests. We want to talk a little bit about our mission, the Florida Public Extension Service. Mission is very clear in the fact that we want to be able to provide research-based sound educational material for our clientele, the families, the partners that we partner with, and to help grow our economy, help grow our trusted folks that we work with. We want to stay ahead. We want to try to anticipate challenges where we can, and want to try to provide solutions for problems that we think might be coming down the road. We look at our shared values. We've looked at the St. Johns County Strategic Plan and Florida Cooperative Extension values alignment. It's very close in the fact that we're very dedicated to our clientele. Since we have an extension office in each of the 67 counties, we serve our counties. I serve St. John's, my team serves St. John's. We're open, we serve everyone. We have a very diverse clientele in the county. We adapt, we adjust. Each day when we come into the office, we may get a question that's definitely not the same as yesterday's. And we try to focus on those and provide an answer for our clients. We look at professional development for everyone on our staff, everyone on our team. We look to provide professional development for our clientele, to be it through trainings or et cetera, based on what their needs are in the community. Fiscal responsibility, absolutely. We're fiscal conservative. We want to use the funds that we have in a way that's necessary. And if we don't need to use those funds, don't use those funds. We serve with integrity, and one I like at the bottom here, humility. Sometimes you just don't know the answer, and the answer needs to be, I just don't know. Let me help you find the answer. So those commitments are very strong. When we look at our ag focus with the community trust and economic prosperity, I heard a presentation by one of our senior officials at the UF. His first comment was when he took a job at the UF, his role as an educator at the University of Florida was to provide farmers the opportunity with the best information to stay profitable. Now, they can take that information and use it how they see. Now, our goal is to help with economic prosperity. If we can provide the best information to our farmers, they can make the best decisions that's worked for their farms to hopefully stay in business, continue to do what they've been doing for generations. We look at community well-being. We talk about lawn and gardens. We talk about crops, livestock, and the programs that we offer in our office. We're committed to trying to meet the needs of our county. I included this slide. This is just our last year's 2025 data, just a summary. We look at in-kind donations, monetary donations that we have, $56,000. This is just kind of a recap. Volunteer hours, we have about 40,400 volunteer hours, which is equivalent of about 9.8 full-time employees. Look at 2,080 hours as a full-time employee. It's quite a bit of impact to our volunteers. We develop educational materials for the public, for our clientele. One of the things that I like a lot is our one-on-one site. It's where we can go on farms, talk to the farmer, talk to the client, talk to the person in the county, find out what their needs are. And that's, and most times whenever I do that, and the team does that, we learn things that were not as part of the initial question. It really helps us to provide a sound answer to what their questions were. We we reached 24,000 clients, 267 group teaching events. And the next one I want to really point out is our 4-H program has grown over this past year. With our clubs increased by 16%. Our volunteer leaders increased 87%. There's a big jump. And one of the goals that we've had in the last year was to try to increase volunteers, because in our mind, the only way to get more clientele, more youth involved in 4-H is to have more club availability. When we look at club availability, we increased by 13%. We're hopefully going to continue to do that. Whenever prior to this meeting, I went to the GTM NER. We had a TAG meeting, a technical advisory group meeting out there. I was talking with Leah Sanson, and she was asking me, she said, Tim, I know you have to go to your budget hearing, but there's people in the room. We have a group called Marine Ecology Event and Marine Ecology Club. That club was very active for a while. We had 2 volunteers that did that, and it shifted. She said there's people in the room that may have that background that are retired that would want to help teach this. The guy I sat next to was a retired scientist from NOAA from Washington, D.C. Maybe he's one of those guys. I don't have any idea. But she asked if she could bring that up to see if there's anybody in the room that might want to volunteer with their expertise to provide that back to the county. We provided 127 restricted pest exams in the office. University of Florida, the state of Florida, Department of Agriculture ended that relationship last year, so we don't provide pesticide testing in our office. We do education, but not the testing. So that's the last time we'll have a test administered in our office. Ag awareness events. We do a number of ag awareness programs. We work with the St. Johns County Parks, the Parks Department. And, for example, they have a Bartram Trail Living History Festival at Alpine Groves Park. We go downtown St. Augustine. We provide educational material to the public to make them aware of agriculture and what we have going on in St. John's. And of course, GIBMP was Green Industry Best Management Practices. We had 85 participants go through that class this last year. And clientele who do that, they have to have the GIBMP certification, so they can then apply for a fertilization license from agriculture so that they can provide that service in the county. So it's an important program that we have. Our budget request, we only had a couple of additional items outside of our line items that we would normally have adjusted. We're focused on a rotary cutter for a tractor. We got a new tractor this last year, a new dump trailer. We're very grateful for those tools. Our master gardeners and the rest of our team utilize those quite a bit. And the fact that our rotary cutter that we have now, I think it was when I first started working here about 10 years ago. That's when we received that one. It's aged, and so we're hopeful to get a new one of those. In our lobby, we have some chairs. I'm not sure when those chairs.
Yeah, they're old. I got those from the old General Hospital before Lowe's was here. That's surplus. They're like duct taped. Really pretty. I mean, I could take some of these if you don't mind. They're in rough shape.
Actually, after General Hospital, it was the old HHS. I sat on those chairs.
Yeah, so they're duct taped. They look pretty when you walk in. You would probably recognize them. That's where I went and picked them up.
You really want to get rid of
They're surplus. That's where I got those chairs from in the lobby.
Talk about fiscal responsibility. We
Yeah.
don't get rid of things unless it's really needs to be replaced.
I was walking through the other day, I'm like, wow, this like, can we get the duct tape that at least matches the color? So that's my new goal, is to find the duct tape that matches the color of that vinyl. 'Cause it looks really bad.
Those 2 items, we definitely were hopeful that we put in. The third item that we found out was put in, we're excited about. Something that I've had a couple of requests this past year. I've requested it in the past. It was a drone. If that's something that is still an opportunity, we've had requests from our growers. They want to know about drainage. They want to know about pest disease identification, and using a drone, you can utilize that tool. The drone that I'm considering, that I'm trying to find funding for, is a SOTN, ACSL SOTN. It meets all the requirements for the state of Florida. University is very strict in what we can and can't buy. So that list changes a lot. It gets tighter every time we turn around. So one of the teams I'm a part of, we think, all right, well, gee, we've got enough money, maybe we can buy a drone. And say, well, it's this many dollars. Then we go to university and say, we want to buy this. They say, well, that's changed, and now it's $2,000 more. We don't have the funding for that. Oh, man. This particular drone, the SOTN, my counterpart in Levy County, Mark Warren, just purchased this drone. He's using it for watermelons. He's working with my drone team to gain the experience that he needs so that he can provide real-time information for his watermelon guys. And but that would be the last thing on our list. I don't have it in here. I apologize about that. But
that was including your request, and if we look at the budget.
a lot of it.
Okay. All right, thank you, Tom. So we will probably go through the department budgets, line item.
Sure.
And ag services is within the general fund. It is a physical environment. Physical environment area within the general fund. Here's the detail of the budget. primarily, it's operating, but a lot of that operating it's really the staff, but it's through a contractual agreement between us and UF. They're not our county staff, they're UF staff, so that shows up as a contractual services line, as you'll see here. So even though it doesn't appear that way, it is primarily personnel intensive. And then the capital request here is the request for the drone. But then, yeah, here was this was a rotary cutter, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Motor color, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry, where's the rotary cutter?
The rotary cutter is in the tools and small implements
okay.
at 4,000.
And then where's the drone?
The drone is in capital equipment.
Okay.
And then Tim, this was the tractor and
We got that last year.
last year,
Yeah.
yeah, this is the 26.
So the drone is 17,000, is that?
And the drone's 17,000.
Okay.
And they keep going up in price. Initially, whenever I first got into working with drones, you could purchase one for $1,500. And then when the state of Florida made some changes, those prices went up substantially. What we can and can't use.
Okay.
So,
All right, sounds good. And I think we have a scheduled meeting with the dean of UF. Again, if I forget the department, I think it's agricultural department. And just to review the contract, which is the bulk of this budget, it's $856,000. So I think we're at a time of contract renewal or contract review. So we'll be going over that as well. So it's timely. All right, anything?
No, I do want to just mention real quick, there's the Hastings Ag
Yeah.
Research. This is not Tim in his area, but it is a separate request out of the general fund. And Chrissy, I don't know if you have any additional information on it, but this is their request. They have requested an additional 50,000 for fiscal year 27, and that's to support.
IDC administrative fees, indirect costs,
Okay.
their UF overhead is what they're requesting.
Is that
Yeah,
also
so
part
that's
of the
the increase.
discussion when the dean's here? Okay, I know both contracts have attached to different advisory boards. I know there's a board for the IFAS operation and there's the commercial growers board. I guess it's the, what do you call that? Commercial grower advisory board.
most growers and then
Growers,
farm
yeah, and so I think, and now the county has just established ag advisory board. I think those are all great, wonderful experts in the field to help us to delineate all these services and make sure that we are delivering what the community wants. So is that 27 is the next meeting, I think, for the advisory board? Yeah, I would love to hear their input in terms of our budget for these two departments as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I don't have anything else to ask. I think we have more work to do on that, but appreciate the presentation. Appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah. All right, good afternoon. So we are back for the second part of community investigation development. As a reminder, last week I was here and we talked about three of the areas that the department covers: tourism development, tax revenue, art and colored places, and the Florida Museum of Black History project. And today we're going to focus on the other major bucket for this department, which is the Main Street partnerships and the community redevelopment areas. So we do have two main streets that are recognized here in St. Johns County. We have the Hastings Main Street and we have the Guadalajara Beach Main Street. And these are both part of the Florida Main Street program, which utilizes the National Main Street Center's 4-point approach. And that offers them a framework to work under for community-based revitalization initiatives. So last year, the county entered into a new contract with each of these two main streets, and we followed a similar framework to that 4-point approach that's set out by the state. We have a contract for each entity that outlines their efforts to support economic vitality, promote the area, complete aesthetic improvements, and then to report and administer the agreement for us. So Hastings Main Street, I've got you guys first. We have an agreement that was established last year by resolution 2025-435, and it does have a renewal option for it for fiscal year 27. The budget request for Hastings Main Street is 125, which, just as a note, is a little bit different weight than what you have in the budget. And it's a little bit different from this year's budget. So this year we have $100,000 in the budget for Main Street. So again, their scope that we have in the contract is for the support of economic vitality for the Hastings Main Street area, promotion of that area for continued growth, aesthetic improvements, and then reporting and administration of the agreement. And Jenna and Sally are here to provide us more detail on their budget request.
Hi, thank you so much for the time today. We appreciate it. I just want to start saying first, thank you for our budget for this past year. To tell you a little bit about what we've accomplished, we're super excited. We feel like we've made a tremendous impact with that money. We've done a few different primary projects with it. One of them is phase 2 of the Cochrane Pocket Park. If you haven't been out to Hastings to see the Pocket Park, the beautiful pavers that came from the Rotary grant are installed. It's a wonderful round pattern, and it's a walkway that leads to the old historic jail building. We first took guardianship of that property. It had been vacant for over 30 years and unutilized in the community, and it was behind a chain link barbed wire fence. So years ago, it had been leased out to one of the local cable companies, and it had a bunch of satellite dishes. So we've reactivated this property and put it into a pocket park at the moment. We have put a fence up that came out of the budget, a beautiful fence. And we had a design created by one of our board members, Brett Kazoyan from Castle Bay Design Group, so that we have a master plan for the project. So those were the first phase. Phase 2, we just created agreements, we're excited to say, with IFAS and also with St. John's Botanical Gardens. And we are starting our plantings this next month. We're in the preliminary phases of picking out what fruit trees, and it's all going to be edibles. So we're looking for Florida native plants and herbs, fruit trees, and things that grow native to St. Johns County. And we have their support not only in the planting and the design, but also we have a partnership with them and some master gardeners in the area for helping take care of it. And we've invited the local Free Kids Academy and a few other school groups and the Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops to participate in monthly organizational projects around the food gardening. So that project's coming along beautifully. We have already began planning phase 3 of the project, which includes us looking to activate the building next. The building needs about $50,000 to $100,000 worth of improvements just to preserve it. It currently needs to be repainted on the exterior, and it does need a new roof. It's a very small building, so thankfully it's not going to take much to beautify it and make it back active. Our goal for that building is to we've done 3 community meetings asking the community what they would like to see. And it seems that the most support has come for a little small historical museum that would include a section for Black history. There are some amazing documents and artifacts that we have been given from different community members over the past 2 years that we have worked in partnership with the St. Augustine Historical Society, and they've helped us to catalog them and create an online digital catalog of the collection. So this would give us a location to store and house the collection, and also to be able to do community events there throughout the year and invite other nonprofits to utilize the building. It would kind of, it's very small, so you can't put a lot of people in there, but it does give you an option to do educational speeches, or it ties into the Pocket Park. So we're excited about activating that this next year, and continuing to just utilize that space. Other projects that we accomplish this year is, of course, the FPL Streetlight Project. I think we're all super excited to see that come to fruition. It's at the very end stages. That's something that we originally started out with doing a paver project, or wanting to do a paver project on Main Street, and realized that if we were going to do that, we had to take care of figuring out what the long-term plan was for the streetlights first, because if we put in the pavers and then had to redo the streetlights, they'd have to rip the pavers up. So we backtracked a little bit, and of course, we've been working with St. Johns County, and I believe the agreement was just signed with FPL to move forward with replacing the 9 existing streetlights on Main Street. And that is a huge, exciting thing for everyone in the community. We can't wait for that work to start. Once that is completed, we will revisit doing the pavers along Main Street, which is part of what our budget request will be utilized for. So our goal in that is, currently our sidewalks in Hastings are very narrow. They're, obviously it's a historic district, and if 2 people cross each other on the sidewalk, someone has to step off the sidewalk into the grass to get by. They're not ADA accessible. They're not family friendly. And the other challenge is nobody maintains that grass between the sidewalk and the street. And oftentimes when you step off the curb, there's holes, it's been chaos. And community members have been gracious enough, including the Masons come once a month and they help us keep it mowed. And we've filled in a lot of holes and divots. But by replacing all of this with pavers, it expands our sidewalks so that it's more family and ADA friendly, so that people of all abilities can come to our Main Street district and be able to utilize the space better. It also is safer, and it creates there's no longer a need for having to maintain that grass and fill holes and things like that. So that's one of our big projects this next year that we're hoping to finish. And then, of course, if you see here on the slide, the historic Hastings downtown, we just submitted a few weeks ago to Ms. Tara the final renditions of these signs. Wayfinding signage is a big need for our community, to let people know that there is a historic downtown business district. So we have had these signs designed, and we've quoted from 2 different companies, and we've submitted all that information for final approval from St. Johns County. Once that's approved, this company will pull all of the DOT and St. Johns County permits needed, and 4 of these signs will be placed. 2 of them will go on 207 in the DOT right-of-way on either end of the town limits, so that people know that they're coming upon the Main Street. One of them, as soon as you turn down Main Street, will list all of the businesses. And we are leaving room in the design for expansion. Right now, it's 1 of these panels, and I think there's 12 slots. But this sign easily can have a cross brace, so that a second panel can be added as businesses in the business district grow. And of course, we're excited to add a slot for the new library that's getting ready to open. And then we have the 4th one that will go along the bike trail, which will be similar to the business one. Our goal also this next year, with part of the budget of the 125, is to put towards the bike trail. So the bike trail it's a hot mess. There's no way to sugarcoat that. It's an amazing asset that, you know, DOT owns the bike trail. They own the land that the bike trail sits on. And they have an agreement with Ravine Gardens, and Ravine Gardens manages that part of the trail. They manage up to 3 feet on either side of the paved portion. So with that being said, there's obviously far more land there that is not being maintained or looked at. So we have been in contact with DOT and Ravine Gardens. Ravine Gardens is very short-staffed, and they have a very limited manpower. They do once or twice a week go out and pick up trash and mow and weed eat, but that's about the scope of it. So a lot of volunteers over the past 2 years have taken to doing other improvement projects to that, including filling in holes that were coming up and, you know, cutting outside of the 3-foot margin. Our goal is, one of the most unsightly and unsafe things at the moment is all of the posts. There's a mix of metal, concrete, and there's a few timber, I guess. There's about 4 different styles of random posts that have been put all along the bike trail around where they cross Main Street. And over the past 50 years, they've been hit by cars, they're slanted, the concrete ones are all broken up, and some of them have deteriorated. So it's very unsightly. It's definitely not an exciting, appealing aesthetic. So our goal is to work with DOT and help either replace those or come up with a better alternative. We've already applied for 2 grants through DOT. One of them is for $25,000, and we should know back this next month on whether or not we receive that. And the other is a more significant grant for several $100,000. That if we get that, our goal is to try to repave the area along Main Street. But part of our budget from St. Johns County will go to, most likely, with their permission, of course, replacing the areas right along Main Street of the post, so that it kind of creates more of a safety barrier, especially now that Free Kids Academy has opened and those kids are using the bike trail daily. But it'll also aesthetically look much nicer and more inviting for the community. As people cross through Main Street, it'll just have a really nice look to it. And then I think as the community grows, we will probably add additional wayfinding signage, but the 4 right now is kind of what we felt was a good number to start with. So that's kind of everything in a nutshell. I talked a little bit about what we've accomplished this past year. We've also did pass as a new Main Street. We are now an official Florida Main Street. We have you have to go through a 2-year apprenticeship. So we've completed that, and Kathy Beck, who is over Florida Main Streets and works for the Secretary of State, said that we were her model children, that we were the highest performing Florida Main Street since she's been in office. So she's been very pleased with our progress and a wonderful support system for us. And then, of course, I'm sure some of you have seen our festivals. We do 2 big festivals each year that we receive funding from the TDC and the Cultural Council. Our Cabbage, Potato, and Bacon Festival, which is a historic cultural festival for the community. And then we also have our Fall Harvest Festival. So we've been working hard with not only the economic redevelopment, but really the cultural and just making people feel good about the community and trying to really be collaborative between all the organizations and churches and nonprofits, and of course with the county. So we try to be a catalyst for good communication and positive change.
Well, congratulations. I think you have done a lot, you guys, and as a team in the Houston community. We see the difference, not only cosmetically, but also, you know, the lighting, the paver, and all those things do matter in how people feel about being part of that community. We are talking about budget, so part of that is, I hope it's not going to be uncomfortable, but I know you had requested $125,000. I don't know the previous year what's the amount, but I encourage all departments, as we're really just hearing all the needs, and encourage the department directors and then the leader of the Main Street to do the same thing, which is prioritizing what is really important. If we do have to go to make some reductions. So what are the most important things for you so that we don't go blindly to say, okay, well, this is gonna be whatever percentage reduction based on how the revenue is gonna look like. I wanted to know if we go there, it is a collaboration on preserving the things that are most important for you.
Sure. So this past year, we had 100,000,
Okay.
and we have spent almost all of it. We still have a little left. We're just waiting on, we try to send everything to St. Johns County through Tara or whomever the project coordinator is for approval before we spend the budget on any type of capital improvement. So the 100,000, I do feel we've been able to really utilize in an effective way. We've partnered a lot of that money with money that came through fundraising and other grants to make it more effective. But I think ultimately, we're grateful for whatever consideration you can give to the community. I know with Hastings, coming under St. Johns County's umbrella in 2018, there's a lot of catch up that we're trying to do through additional funding, whether it be through St. Johns County or a lot of the grants that we're looking at, just to try to make the community feel like, it's worthy, it's valuable. So, we understand, budgets are tight everywhere across the state. So, but I think as much as we're able to get, we would truly be grateful and appreciate the support.
Would you mind to kind of delve into sort of itemizing, not anything like in details, but itemizing $125,000? What are the categories and things and how are you prioritizing?
Absolutely. So the paper project, I estimate, is probably going to be between 40 and 50,000. And some of that will depend on how far we go. So, our goal is to get in front of where the majority of the businesses are, where most of the traffic is. Ultimately, if we do it in 2 phases, it could be a lot more than that as we expand out from there. The long-term goal would to be complete from 207 to the bike trail. But I think initially, all of the businesses are in about probably 60 to 70% of that span. So our first year goal would be to replace the grass with the pavers on the most trafficked areas. And of course, in front of the library, I think that would be critical to get that part repavered. That's probably going to get the most traffic. And then as far as from there, we would love to try to get as much as possible to put towards the building at the Cochran Park. I think a new roof on that and, just getting it back to where we could at least utilize the interior. Right now it stays locked and there's some storage of additional fencing materials and all of that. But until we can get it dried out where the roof doesn't leak and there's not water coming up through right now, where the walls meet the floor, moisture is coming out. So we've already got a quote on what it'll cost to do that. So I would say another 30,000 towards that would be wonderful, just so that we could get that back activated. And then the other 20,000 would be going towards the bike trail, cleaning up the aesthetics on that.
So I have 50, 30, 20. That's 100,000.
The other things that we had looked at doing those are our priorities.
Sure.
If we
Okay.
could get 100,
Yeah.
the additional 25, we would be looking at doing the garden enhancements and build outs. Right now, one of the neighboring partners for Hastings Main Street on the park, he has agreed to let us use his water hookup for the gardens. Eventually, we would like to put in a well so that we could irrigate. And then we need a new electric panel on the Cochran building. And try to, the panel that's there, we can get away with at the moment, but I feel like it definitely needs to be replaced at some point. It's older and it's kind of, it'll get us to where we can still utilize the building, but it is on the project task list.
Yeah.
It's probably second tier. And then doing additional wayfinding signage and additional aesthetic
Okay.
improvements.
And is that Cochran building a county park?
It is.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's all
so
county
it's
owned.
Okay. So I'm curious why the park, that sounds like a very regular park maintenance item. and which is a county asset. And then the Parks and Recreation has a countywide parks and recreation R&R program. So I don't know why that's not
So
part of that.
when we requested to reactivate that,
Okay.
the county executed a long-term lease to Hastings Main Street
Oh.
because the county did not want to maintain it. They said they don't have the budget currently to add another park. And Hastings Main Street agreed we would take care of that through fundraising. A good portion of the money that we raise through the Potato Ball and the Cabbage, Potato, and Bacon Festival pays for the insurance, the lease. We pay, I think, $500 a year for the
Right.
lease.
Right.
And then it pays for, and like we have the lawn maintained every month. But that was at the time when we requested to activate that property because it had been sitting vacant. There was no money in St. Johns County Parks and Rec budget to cover that. So we did agree to take it on, and we're happy to do it. But I mean, if there is funding in the Parks and Rec budget to help envelop that, it would be wonderful. We could certainly, reconfigure that.
Yeah, well, I'm more looking at if it is county asset, Parks and Recreation has done an amazing job to prioritizing because we have so many of them.
Yeah.
And in terms of the maintenance requirement based on the condition, based on the age. And I don't know where Cochrane Park sits in that priority list, but there is a comprehensive county-wide approach to do that. But if this park has been leased to a private entity, then certainly that sounds like it's not really even part of that consideration anymore.
We have a 10-year lease.
10-year lease, okay?
Yeah. And in the agreement, it states that it's only to be used for community purposes. So Hastings Main Street as a nonprofit, our goal wasn't to try to take over the park. It was try to make it something back active for community use. And we agreed that we would try to identify grant funding, which we did receive the $30,000 Rotary grant, which offset the cost of all of the pavers that we installed there. But our goal is 100% of the funding that we receive from the county goes into capital improvements on county land. Even where we're placing the pavers along Main Street, that's county-owned property. Even the signage, that's all on DOT or county-owned property. So our goal is where the county hasn't had the bandwidth to kind of look at these small details that help really build a community. We took that role on as trying to do the legwork and the research and the quoting and managing the projects and really just take that off the county's plate because y'all were so busy trying to make sure we had water and sewer and, those bigger, more important things. But every dime has been spent directly into putting back into county assets.
Okay, gotcha. And that's very helpful, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we have Lano,
Yes.
and we can do very similar exercise with that in
Yes.
terms of the
Yep.
breakdown.
So Volano Main Street, we have a very similar agreement. The Volano and Hastings Main Street agreements are very similar in structure. They were both approved at the same time. This was put in place under Resolution 2025-434. And again, we have a renewal option for 2027 for that agreement. This year's budget request from Volano Main Street is $200,000. And they have a scope that mirrors pretty much exactly the Hastings Main Street scope, which includes supporting economic vitality for the area, promotion of that area for future development, aesthetic improvements, and then reporting and administering the agreement. So this year, Volano's budget, fiscal year 26, Volano's budget is $64,000. And so they're requesting an increase to $200,000. And I do have a detailed list from the Main Street there where they shared with me what they would be requesting for that money. So I'll just run through them. So they are looking for $5,000 for marketing expenses. And this would include them doing all of their Volano Beach Main Street marketing on social media, any of their local marketing as well, that is not covered by grants because they do receive a number of grants from the TDC for some of their special events that they hold. They're looking for $3,000 to develop the website. And this would include new branding. It would also give them some funding to complete monthly updates just for the general activities in the area, as well as for sponsorships and membership updates and give new updates on upcoming businesses and business opportunities in the area. They're looking for $20,000 to actually do the branding for the Volano Main Street. And let's see. And they've detailed in here that this would include copyright expenses, new banners for the roadways, new signs at the pier, Volano lettering at the pier fountain, art installations on Volano Road at the site of the St. Johns County Breakwater Fountain. Then they've got $5,000 for beautification, which includes additional plantings, cleanup supplies, and they will have all of the work actually done by volunteers. They're requesting $10,000 for bike racks, $22,000 for a informational entryway signage,
Sorry, what was that figure?
22,000. Mhm. Sorry, I didn't know you guys were typing, I could go a little slower. $50,000.
That sign, is it a static sign or?
It says entryway informational signage.
I don't know if it was what that changes or.
Grant shortfalls, they have listed as $50,000. And so what this is this is a request essentially for the county to provide funding to offset the expenses that are not covered underneath the TDC grants. So as I mentioned, they get a variety of TDC grants. One is for their music festival called Vibrations. Another grant that they receive is for their holiday village, Christmas time village. And then they're also looking for fireworks for New Year's Eve. And so they're looking for $50,000 for each one of those. It looks like 50,000. Yep, so it'd be actually, it's not 50,000, they're looking for 150,000 for that. So it's 50,000 per event. So 50,000 for Vibrations, 50,000 for the holiday village, 50,000 for the New Year's Eve fireworks.
And since Volano has a CRA, are these funded through CRA?
So they are not funded through CRA. So we can have two CRA here. I've got them, they're actually last. So one of the things that we did this past year was we looked at the Volano CRA, or actually, I guess we didn't do that this past year. We did it a number of years ago, but we made projections forward of the debt service and the payoff for each one of the CRAs. And so Volano is the one CRA that we feel like very likely will not end up paying off all of its previous debt service based on its TIF collections. And so one of the things that the county's been working on for a number of years is minimizing the expenses for new amenities in that area with CRA funds. And so last year, when this became part of my department, one of our priorities was to establish the boundaries of the CRA versus the Main Street, because they were previously a little bit intertangled, and that caused us some challenges legally. And so we put that new agreement in place last year. It's the first year that we had a standalone Main Street agreement for Volano, and they are completely separate now, those two entities are. So for the Volano CRA budget, when we get there, you'll see that it's for utilities and it's for enhanced garbage pickup, and otherwise the rest of the funding is going towards debt service payoff.
Okay, and so I remember there was a list of requests related to traffic, parking, and is that, which organization is that?
So a lot of those things we actually pick up internally.
Okay.
So like the traffic is handled by Public Works.
Okay.
The signs will pay, this year we've got a little bit of money in their budget, so the
Yeah.
signage.
Which was the agency that organized that request? Is that the Main Street?
I would say it was the community at large.
Oh, okay.
We had a meeting with 3 different local community groups, so the CRA and Main Street folks are actually both the same representatives. So where one stops and one ends is a little bit unclear. But then we also had, the North Beach
Alliance.
the names of the different groups.
Good
And there was a
job.
third
North
group
Beach
there
Alliance.
too.
Beach Alliance,
Let's
yeah.
thank
North
you.
Beach, and there's a third group as well who came and participated in those meetings. And those concerns with parking, and they have a number of parking concerns, really are outside of the boundary of the CRA. So like Porpoise Point is actually outside of the boundary of the CRA, and I think North Beach as well. I have a map there, but kind of looking at those, we look at our different funds that we have available through facilities, through public works. And then, like I said, there's a little bit of money in the CRA this year, so if it's appropriate, we use that funding as well.
So the music festival, the Christmas party, the firework, they all receive some level of funding from TDC?
Fireworks do not. So at the moment, they get some funding for the vibrations for the music festival and for their Holiday Village lighting festival they do. And the fireworks, they came to the TDC this past October, I believe it was, or November, and they made a request outside of the grants program for firework funding, and the TDC passed on the opportunity by TDC funding for that. We do expect that they are going to submit an application for that for this year, because our window's open now for the ACH grants program. I think one of the comments or one of the points that Linda often makes is that they'll request this much funding, and they receive this much funding. And even though they receive this much funding, it still costs them this much, so they have to make up the difference between what they receive from the TDC and what the actual cost of the event is. And that is part of her request here, is that the county provides some funding through the Main Street agreement to offset the rest of those expenses for their events.
Okay, got it. All right, next.
Okay, next. So that's it for Volano Main Street. Moving on. Great. All right, so we're going to move on to our community redevelopment areas. So we do have 3 CRAs. We have the West Augustine, the Volano Beach, and the Flagler Estates. These are overseen by the Community Redevelopment Agency, which is the Board of County Commissioners. However, we also have our CRA community steering committees, which make recommendations and provide input on projects and programming for the area throughout the year. So the first one is West Augustine. And so I'm going to note that I'm going to run through this here. And then we do have Robbie Nimmons is on standby. And if we want any specific questions answered, we can give him a call. But the West Augustine CRA current initiatives, things that they've been working on this year, is affordable housing. We're currently working on putting together a next iteration of the RFP for affordable housing. They worked together with the CDD to help get the construction of the Health and Wellness Center over the finish line. The county did provide some CRA funding for that development here at the end of the last calendar year. Some improvements to Peace Park. There's been a variety of improvements to Peace Park that have been completed, as far as like clearing the land off, adding some fencing, and making some general landscaping improvements out there. And they do have ongoing continued plans for additional Peace Park improvements. Some's been completed. And then general community awareness and outreach. The CRA steering committee does a variety of outreach events throughout the year for West Augustine. So for this upcoming budget year, staff did a community budget input session. So we had an input session on March 23rd. We had held it in the evening at Solomon Calhoun. We invited the community to come out and let us know what their priorities are. And we actually had a little sheet, a little questionnaire for folks to fill out. We had pretty good attendance. I think we had about 15 people come out, and then we received a number of additional forms that were completed after that were turned into us. And so the stated community priorities for that area are moving forward with affordable housing initiatives and looking at ways to improve sewer connectivity. So out here in West Augustine, there has historically been septic systems. A number of years ago, the city increased its initiative to expand sewer connectivity out through that community. Sewers in that area are overseen by the city of St. Augustine, not by St. Johns County. And then, of course, we're going to continue to focus on the repayment of the debts. And for this CRA, Vicky, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they are anticipated to pay off their debt service on time. And the amount of money that we budget for them each year is the amount of additional money that we think we have based on that payoff projection.
Mm-hmm. So stay on West Augustine, is that it?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so stay on West Augustine CRA for a minute. So I know, okay, we can talk about priority first. So I've heard from the community about drainage concerns, and specifically, potentially, there are some drainage concerns off of Felicia Street and then where the new village is. And so that's something I think we have to coordinate with Public Works and figure out, even though the community may not come to say that's priority, but that should be infrastructure priority. So that plays into how how we fund the CRA. And, are you coordinating with the city of St. Augustine in terms of the sewer connectivity priority?
Well, so we would like to. So this next slide kind of tells us, based off of the input that we received from the community and kind of the ongoing discussions that we've had. So we had a special meeting to get the input, but we were out there a lot and talking to them a lot.
Yeah.
And so kind of building them a budget for next year, a draft budget, is we've got funding in there for their affordable housing initiative. So we've got about an extra $650,000 in there for that housing. They've got some additional, like I said, wants for Peace Park. They want to continue to improve Peace Park. So we've got $100,000 in the budget for Peace Park improvements. Septic to sewer conversion. So this would be something we haven't done with CRA funds before. But we're thinking that we will structure it very similar to how we did Flagler Estates with the roadway improvements with Road Water Control District, is we'll work with the city of St. Augustine to actually come up with the scope of work, and we'll execute an interlocal agreement. And then as the work is completed, they would bill us and we would pay for it directly. We've talked high level to the city of St. Augustine about this, but we don't have a scope for that. The idea is that the city puts forth a action plan, I guess, for the upcoming year. And so our goal, or at least our initial thought, is that we would say, all right, so you're planning to put in about $100,000. The city is, I think they're actually planning to put in 200,000. But if you up that by another 100,000, could you take it further? Could we go ahead and connect more of the existing homes? What would that look like? And let them give us a plan, and then we could work from there to see if that works for us, if that makes sense, if we want something different.
So on principle, in the sewer connectivity, I think we have to be able to have a delineated identity of where the county comes in, where the city comes in. I know the city has been putting away reserve for that specific purpose every year. My understanding is almost 250,000 annually.
Yes.
In the connectivity improvement. They're not county infrastructure. I would be very hesitant to invest in a jurisdiction's infrastructure that is not owned by the county. But that doesn't mean the county doesn't play in the support in this whole conversion. I think there are city users, but county residents. I think where financially the county could potentially come in to help is to support the connection fee, because that's the homeowner's financial burden, rather than a reinvestment in a infrastructure asset that we don't own. I don't think that is a good way of protecting our fiduciary responsibility for our residents. So
that's fair.
Yeah, so I think that, and then I know the city has been very committed in putting away capital funds to make that conversion happen. And I think we're going to be there to partner in at least to remove the obstacle of the residents' ability to connect to their infrastructure.
So like I said, this is kind of just an idea at this point. We've got a lot of vetting it out to figure out what it looks like. And we're not even sure if we can get there, right? If the city can get there in the county. But it's what the community said they're interested in.
Sure.
And so.
And we can support in a way that is responsible. I don't also want to open a door that we're taking care of our own infrastructure. I mean, when we start to invest in other jurisdictions' infrastructure, then becomes very challenging for us to, now we have a new territory that we have to start to prioritize whose infrastructure we're going to invest in. So I think that there is that nuance. We want to be very careful before we go in there. But, if a couple $1,000s of a connection fee for each household is an obstacle of the connection, then I think we have ability to evaluate that because we're supporting our residents.
Yeah, and we obviously have to make sure how we decide to move forward that it's upheld by the CRA, what's allowed as well. Like, so there's a lot, I hear your concerns. There's a lot of legwork to still be done on that. But we're looking at putting a little money in the budget so that we can have something there to fund it if in our explorations we can find a reasonable path forward.
What I would recommend when it comes to septic to sewer connection and conversion is, instead of any infrastructure development, you can put away a connection subsidy program, just like what we do with other parents program for our residents for affordable housing. They can apply for a grant for the county using CRA funds to pay for the connection.
definitely have some more meetings with you in the coming months if this gets funding and we move it forward.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of ways we could go.
Yeah,
And I really, to be honest, I haven't really explored any of them.
Yeah.
Other than just reaching out to the city and seeing if they would be at least on the initial level amenable to exploring it.
yeah, no, I appreciate
that's
you
about
actually
where I
having these
stop.
conversations, and this is the first time in a long time that conversation came back. I just know how it was set up
Yeah.
years ago, and, yeah, so I think I'm glad that we're talking about this before we, finalize any sort of structure.
So for next fiscal year's budget, they are looking to continue some community awareness and outreach initiative programs. Two of their main programs are their back to school programming and their summer camp programming. We are looking to shift some of these expenses over to the revenues that they receive, that the West Augustine community receives from the Solomon Calhoun Center. Because there's a little bit of a gray area here where we provide funding for these types of programs with CRA funds. So we're trying to keep them at a minimum with CRA funds and work with OMB to deposit the funds from the Solomon Calhoun Center in our general budget and utilize those funds for more of their programming going forward.
Okay.
So, but there will be a little bit of that in here in the request for next year, kind of as we make that transition. And then we do currently pay utilities for their streetlights and their digital sign. We'll continue to do that next year. And then, of course, the debt service.
Mhm.
Like I said, we're doing pretty good on debt service with this CRA, is my understanding.
Okay. For the affordable housing, I know I talked to Greg about the Weavers Foundation potentially are interested in replicating the tiny homes that they have in the city of Jacksonville. So I think having that $650,000 as a set aside could be a good backup. It sounds like they're ready to absorb all capital costs when it comes to developing a tiny home rental complex. But I think that there's some additional requests for conveyance of parcels and land.
So that initiative is being led by the CDC. The CDC is leading that. So technically, at the moment, at least what's been shared with me is that would be separate from the CRA. Not that we couldn't use the funding for it, but even though Greg is everywhere, Greg's everywhere. He's really wearing his hat there for the CDC when it comes to the Weaver Foundation,
Yeah.
and not his hat for the CRA necessarily.
Well, the county has already conveyed some land and the county has already designated affordable housing parcels.
Mhm.
So, I see there's a partnership there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
we see.
they have shared some maps that show the different parcels that they're interested in. They are interested in parcels for two reasons. They're looking for that affordable housing, and then they're also interested in pursuing consideration of donation of additional land to them to expand the parking lot for the health and wellness center as well.
Okay.
So they found that it's being well utilized, which is great,
Yeah.
except for there's not
No
quite
parking.
enough parking.
Yeah, gotcha.
There's some parking, but just not quite enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Good on West Augustine?
Yeah.
Okay. So next we have Flagler Estates. And so kind of this one's gonna have the same format, except I do have Miss Shirley sit down there at the end of the table and she's going to give us her inputs and her thoughts. So for Flagler Estates, their current initiatives are the roadway improvements. And this was a pretty big project for us this year. We actually ended up being able to improve about 4.5 miles of the roads out there, which I think makes a pretty meaningful difference when you're driving around.
Congratulations.
And the community expressed earlier in the fiscal year that they were interested in playground improvements. We are working with the Parks and Recreation Department on really two types of playground improvements. Currently, the Parks Department is working on installing a climbing structure that they purchased with, I think, impact fees. And they're going to put that in out there with no CRA funds. And then once that gets installed, the community is going to give us input on whether or not they'd like an additional slide, additional spinning structures, swings, whatever they would like. And we'll use some CRA funds to expand the playground equipment even further and potentially make improvements to the ground surface. So if it's going to be mulch or whatever, it'll be out there. So those are our current projects. And then they provide, the CRA steering committee folks provide a number of events that are intended to raise community awareness and provide that outreach service as well.
And this is all contained within the CRA collection.
It is.
Okay.
Yep. And so for the Flagler State CRA, we did a budget input session for this community as well. We held this one on April 9th, and it was in the evening. And we had, Ms. Shirley came out, and we actually had pretty good representation from the Road and Water folks. They were very interested, since we partnered with them this year, they were very interested to come out and see what we had to say. But the rest of the community at large, we didn't get too many individuals who showed up, but we did also follow up at the next CRA meeting to kind of discuss the budget and get some additional input from the folks who showed up to that meeting. And I would say probably around 20 people came to that April regularly scheduled CRA steering committee. So we got pretty good input from the community in this area as well. So their priorities are, they have been and they continue to be road improvements. So they're interested in road improvements. They're interested in drainage improvements. They have flooding problems like many other areas do. They're interested in continued recreation area improvements. So for their recreation area, we've got that community center, the county recent, and we've got the playground, and it's directly adjacent to the fire station that's being built. And last year or a couple of years ago, the county purchased a couple of lots on the backside of the community center, which are currently forested. And our intent is to clear those trees, the majority of those trees, and extend the unpaved parking on those lots. That's not CRA funding. I think it's impact fee dollars. I'm not exactly sure what the funding source for that is. But the community has a lot of interest of, once those improvements are made to those two lots, seeing if we can do additional improvements to the area to include some sort of a designated little trail out there that they can have a little walking trail on, or potentially further improvements to the playground, or maybe looking at some of the grassy areas somewhere and making some improvements so that it's not large enough to be an actual recreation field, like to be a soccer field or any kind of a designated ball field, but have it be a multi-use green space for kids to kick a ball and run around.
Do you know that's in the Parks and Recreation CIP program? For this impact fee?
For the green space?
Yeah.
So they have in their program is the improvements to those lots that are currently forested.
Okay.
And they're gonna clear more lots. They're gonna leave some trees, but they're gonna basically clear them, and then put in dirt, improved, but dirt parking.
Yeah.
And beyond that, the parks plan doesn't have anything. They've got some playground improvements for us. They've got some parking area improvements for us, but anything beyond that, they don't have.
Okay, gotcha.
And then, so let's see, drainage improvements, recreation improvements, and then lighting improvements, and that would be street lighting. There are some street lights out there that we pay utility bills for, but there is some interest from the community to have some level of extension of lighting. Lighting's pretty intensely controversial, so we're gonna have some extra meetings to figure out what that means and whether or not we can actually move forward with that or not. But that is one of the expressed interests. And then, of course, one of our interests, the county's interest, is to continue to pay off that debt service. So this CRA, much like West Augustine, it seems that they will actually be able to pay off their debt service by the time that it sunsets. And so we do have some additional funding for the CRA to use each year to come up with some of these projects that they would like to fund. And so, as I've mentioned here, we've put up a preliminary budget that's very much based off of what we heard from the community that they're interested in. And we've got about $400,000 in a line, which could be used for some version of additional roadway improvements, drainage improvements, lighting improvements. We're going to continue to work with the community to figure out what works for them and what they're collectively interested in, and what everybody feels good about. So we've got some money there for that type of improvement. Then some additional recreation area improvements. Like I said, it could be trails, it could be further playground improvements. Community outreach and awareness, kind of their two main events that they do. The CRA steering committee hosts is the Spring Fling and the Fall Festival. We do pay a utility bill out of this CRA for streetlights, and then of course pay that debt service. So with that, Ms. Shirley, is there anything you would like to add?
I'm gonna put two fingers so I remember. The first thing is what a gift and what a difference it makes with Tara and Sarah, Tara Meeks and Sarah Newell. They have eliminated all of the roadblocks, all of the speed bumps. They have created bridges between the CRA and the board at Road and Water. They have met, they have put in the time, they have leaned in, they have listened, and we are so appreciative. And wow, what a difference it has made. I mean, there are only really two ways to get across Deep Creek, Flagler Estates Boulevard and Cedar Ford Boulevard. And unfortunately, the flooding, it's a problem. So this is great that maybe we can get some improvement on that, or even, maybe even using some money to create a situation to get across the creek at Palaca Boulevard, or Melanie, where the new fire station's going in. There's a lot of land, and it's just a little jump that we need to make to get to the other side, so that if we're not able to raise up Flagler Estates Boulevard, then maybe we do need another way to get across that creek, right? And to get people to safety. So evacuation is something to think of in the future, like real soon. We're so happy we didn't have a hurricane last season. Yay.
We want this season.
Yeah, so we don't want any hurricanes, right? But if the rain comes, because we live in this wonderful, beautiful paradise, right? This tropical place. So we're just very thankful. We're very thankful that they're asking the community what they want to, and they're giving them the opportunity to come out and say it, right? And so we have like ad hoc members now for the playground project. There was even one where there was some discussion about a path for horse riding. Because the big thing about this is we've had so much growth, right? And we're so thankful to have the growth that we've had, but we really need to make sure that people are coming in and doing it the right way, right? And not eliminating the integrity of why we all wanted to live there. All the wildlife, which will then bring us up. We just at our last meeting and talked about, we would like possibly 3 signs at each entrance, not digital signs. We are different. We would like more of some type of representation that you are entering an area where there are animals, all types of animals. We've got homesteaders with livestock. We've got people that unfortunately drop animals. So, and then we've also got, of course, the wild animals, that come with the wetland environment. Both otters could go over a septic mound, or then you've got the family of 30 boar, wild boar. You'll wake up one morning, they're all in your yard, But what we really need to do is, we hate to see, people speeding through our area. And so that's why it would be nice to have entry signs that kind of like let people know what they're entering into, to be prepared to slow down or stop. Because we love our wildlife there, and that's a big part. We might not be dense in population of people, but we have people and animals. And, so we would just like maybe to give them something. That's just another thing. I think there was some type of area there that maybe we could get them sooner than later, or figure out which department. That was another thing about Tara. Amazing. If we talk about a subject, like we have a new logo, and that goes back to trying to maintain the integrity of why people move there. So I've got ATVs, I've got people riding horses, I've got a homesteader house, like with a little garden. We've got the creek that runs through it with fishing. I mean, there's a lot of recreation that people just naturally do there, and we really don't want it to end. We got to figure out how to organize it all and keep it safe. And we appreciate that you have put them to work with us and all the work that they're doing. And so I really wanted to come and say thank you.
Well, thank you, Shirley, for saying something. I would say Tara Meeks and Sarah Newell, they have every role they have been in. They have not only succeeded in the roles, they stretch them, they cross the board to other roles. And so when we were contemplating this new expanded department with a really long name, I'm excited that they were taking up the challenge, and I have never doubted that they would get you guys to where it needs to be. And I know there's continued more work that they have in store and continue to collaborate. So yeah, I cannot agree with you more. The two of them are dynamite.
We second that. It's been a huge difference over the years. We've had different folks helping, and this has been night and day. So we're grateful.
Thank you.
Right.
Well, thank you.
Maybe I have one more. Sure.
That's what
I just realized, I should have
2 fingers.
But the other thing is, I just wanted to stress the importance of the spring fling and the fall festival. we've been calling it Holiday Festival because we tried to stay away from October with there's already so much going on in October. So we tried to move, the last couple of years, we've done like the first or second weekend of November. What is important about that is that when our residents say they're going to town, because we don't have a main street, guess where we're going? We're going to Hastings. Okay, so, but since we don't have that within, we are peppered with sole proprietors, crafters, educators that are homeschooling, so many people, okay? And that holiday festival is the chance during the year that they get to come to the park and promote their services or what they have made. And so that is very important. That has become really important I'm hoping that we can just build every year. So we really would like that to stay on. Also, Spring Fling, we partner with Team Up in Hastings, Team Up Hastings, and they are the ones that provide to us the opportunity for social services. So, it seems like we're getting a lot of new people into the community. They might not be aware of the services that are available to them, but they can come to Spring Fling and find out. So stop over and find out. Yeah. And so that's why that's still on the list, because it's very important, and we hope we can grow it more and more every year.
Sounds great.
I would like to add to the accolades for Tara Meeks and her department. I've been working at this for a good 20 plus years, and Tara has exceeded all expectations. I mean, she has exceptionally delved into community issues, engaged the community in participation, and responded appropriately as needed. And it's the best that you got.
And I don't know if you've heard the awesome news, but Sally is looking forward to retirement. We just hired a new new executive director in training, and she's trying to retire this year. Yeah.
Well, and thank you ladies for all the nice things that you said. That's very much appreciated. Thank you.
Well, we absolutely support all the activities that are going on. I participate in Flagler meetings regularly, and I well know.
Yeah, all of you are doing amazing. It's exciting to see the amazing changes in St. Johns County, not just our communities, but we notice the difference throughout the county. So thank you all.
Thank you. Well, the most important thing that we all recognize as a team is communication. I think that, among many great things that Tara and Sarah are doing is to open up that communication, not only with the community from the community to the county, because Flagler Estate is not an area that purposefully that we don't pay attention. It's that communication. And once that's opened up, not only with the community members and leaders like you, but also with the district, and having that dialogue is really the 90% of all the work. But I'm going to bring this back to budget for a minute.
We have one
One more.
We still have the Volano one.
Okay. Volano one?
Yes.
Okay. Because I wanted to go back to Volano too. So go ahead.
Okay. So our Volano Beach CRA, we've already touched on this a little bit as part of the Main Street, but I did have a section for it. So for this CRA, the debt service is our primary focus here. As I've mentioned here a couple times now, we do not expect that the CRA, or at least we expect that it is likely that it may not fully repay. It may, they've had a lot of growth out there, but it may not fully pay back its prior debt service. And so really over the last couple of years, we've focused on allocating these funds towards that debt service payment. So, and here I've got this note that Volano Beach Main Street, we've really shifted the dynamics of what this structure looks like for this community in the last year. And we're looking to the Main Street to take the lead on future enhancement projects in the area.
Okay.
So for next year, their budget request is pretty limited as far as things outside of debt service, and it's just the ongoing utility expenses, both for streetlights and for the fountain out there, and then that enhanced garbage collection, and the rest of it will go to debt service.
Okay, good. So actually my question, is that it for Volano? Yeah. So Main Street of Hastings, obviously we don't have a CRA out there, so the funding is just general fund. Volano, we have had a CRA, very contained TIF fund in there to support the enhancement, and Sally knows about this, that the intention of establishing a TIF is to reinvest in the community in a very isolated way so that we're targeting the economic development. Main Street then came on as a separate entity. Last year was the first year that we formalized a sort of a partnership agreement where that we're supporting the economic development initiatives. At least that's the intention of the agreement. Was the last year's agreement supported by CRA TIF funding or?
It's not.
Okay.
No, it's general fund. And so we can circle back around with legal and get a little bit more clarification on that. And I'm not sure if it was the types of activities or if it was just the way in which the relationship was previously structured.
Okay.
But legal's direction was to, because the agreement before the existing agreement was like a CRA agreement with the Main Street, and it said that CRA funds were paying the Main Street in order to support CRA's initiatives. And so I'm not sure if it was the actual relationship that was established or if it was use of funds, but the county attorney's office had some concerns with that.
Okay.
And so that's how we ended up on this path of kind of having them be separate.
Okay.
The decision was made at that point to use general funds for the Volano Main Street, but we can certainly go back and revisit and
Yeah.
see if it would be appropriate with the way that we've structured that new relationship
Yeah.
to fund with CRA if you'd like.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we have so many competing needs. I just want to make sure that we establish a good principle that's repeated everywhere in the county. Certainly Flagler Estate and West Augustine right now is using the funds that's been set aside for its intended purpose, which is we're enhancing the property value. That value goes back to reinvest the community so that it can continue to thrive. Volano is at a different life cycle of economic development. It has kind of went from where West Augustine, Flagler potentially was, but it also has a very different characteristics. It's a coastal section of the county. It has a different type of value. I think almost to a point where that it has reached its peak. You have a town center, you have these activities and commercial that you had hoped for and worked for. Sally, you're a big part of it, and they're here now. And so now we are more, at least the communities are more looking at events, activities, maintenance, and beautification and things, and signage and things like that, which it sounds to me more geared towards tourism side of it, rather than just a redeveloped community. And of course, a lot of residences participate in that. General fund is such a contained and very pressured fund, and then this is not necessarily just about Volano or Hastings or any other parts of the county. I just want to make sure that we're using this very limited fund consistently across the board. If we're talking about firework, if we're talking about music festival, are we doing that countywide, or is because this is specific, this location brings a countywide benefit? So those are the considerations, I think, before we fund them, especially when it comes to general fund allocation.
All right, very good. So
Well, the other thing I'll also mention that, and I thought about this because Volano has a lot of interest in different types of needs, transportation improvement, mobility, and of course, beautification, events, but also there are public safeties. Certainly, we'll always prioritize public safety and transportation mobility if we have to prioritize. So I didn't ask when you were going through the Volano Main Street contract, which we did in Hastings, is there are $2,000 here, $5,000 here, $20,000 branding, a $10,000 bike rack, $22,000 signage, 50, 50, 50 for 3 different types of events. I would like to know from Main Street's perspective, how would they prioritize if we can't fund everything, what would be the most important thing for them?
I will certainly have that discussion with them. I will follow back up with that information. And I will reach out, I'm going to reach out to legal, and I'm going to request some guidance on use of CRA funds for that Main Street agreement.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. Anything else, Sally?
Thank you again.
We want to go, Wade usually goes over all the departments to ground us.
Back to the numbers, which everybody loves.
Not ground us from money, it's just bring us to the ground.
Yes. All right, so we will start in the general fund with the community and destination development. And as I get there, you'll see, Joy, there are 3 other CRAs. Those are not county CRAs. Those are CRAs that the city of St. Augustine created and approved and adopted. There is a requirement, and we budget each year for those of similar TIF funding from the county goes towards those CRAs, but those payments are made to the city of St. Augustine. This is the community and destination development side. This is the main streets primarily. Was just started in 2026 as a new department, new initiative, or really restructuring of items, as Tara mentioned. There is, salary expense as well as small operating, and then the 600,000 is really where towards the main streets. In addition to that, there's 100,000 for Hastings, which we heard today the request is 125, 200,000 for Volano, and then additional to that is 300,000 for the art and public spaces program. So just kind of wanted to highlight that that's the general fund. This would be funding related to property taxes and other general fund revenues. The CRAs are their own special revenue funds. They're not necessarily millage funds, but they do, when we look through them, they do have as part of the revenues property taxes, because it is kind of an earmarking of property taxes that would otherwise go to the general fund is then put towards these specific areas for reinvestment. So this is the Flagler Estates. A little less than $1 million and for 27 for TIF revenues. And then the line item expenses there as they went through currently, I think the 400,000 is what Tara mentioned could be anything from road improvements to other improvements, enhancements as was requested. The transfers is related to in repaying the general fund for prior debt service during the economic recession. The loans that were out there, the general fund had to cover a lot of those loans, and the CRAs are now just paying that back. And again, as Tara mentioned, we do expect Flagler Estates to fully repay any general fund obligation. Same thing, expenses, it's just a little more line item on this side, so. West Augustine CRA, again, expectation is that they'll fully repay the general fund that is in that transfer here as well. There's kind of a mix here. It's both the debt, the current year's debt on the facility, as well as repaying the general fund for prior debt payments. The grants and aids component of it is the affordable housing programs and the potential septic to sewer type of initiatives out there. And then a lot of the operating is really just the utilities. Yeah. And then the 100,000 here is related to Peace Park.
So we only have 38,000 in reserve?
Yes, with this, 38,000 in reserves is what's anticipated, but this one would generate about 1.2 in TIF revenues each year. So, and depending on how property tax move forward, you can expect that level and some growth each year.
Okay.
So, and then finally, Volano CRA, as Tara mentioned, currently the expectation is this would not fully repay the general fund for that debt, and as such, pretty much all the expenses with some limited utilities and other expenses everything is transferred to the general fund for that debt service. So I believe the debt service for all of these are for 2032, and that's also the time frame for the CRAs themselves. So they would all sunset kind of at the same time.
I think that will conclude the community redevelopment.
Yeah, but yes, so just